Hey, what's up? This is Alex Brooks, and this is day 10. So today just so happens to be Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to everybody out there, all the mothers that are still around, and happy birthday, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers who aren't. Um, as I talked about a couple days ago, I lost my mom about 5 years ago, and literally buried her the day before Mother's Day. So this month, I always have, it's an interesting time, and it just so happened to be the same month as my birthday. So a lot of mixed emotions there, but I'm grateful for the years that I did have with my mom, and every time Mother's Day come around, I always encourage people to definitely take the time to show appreciation to their mom, and whether it's taking her out to dinner. I know right now we're in quarantine, so if you guys are already in close quarters with your mom, cook her dinner. So today, I've pretty much been working every day since the lockdown has hit, and I've been working on different parts of my business. And today I'm still working on the landing page stuff for our event. I plan to get it done by today. That's my goal. Plan to get it done by today, knock that out, and then start organizing all the promotional stuff. There's gonna be a lot of promotion that I'll have to put together to make this work. The promotional material that we'll promote, the stuff that I'm going to have some of the speakers promote, is going to be a collective effort. So that's where a lot of my focus is going to be. It's beautiful outside, so I'm going to be working on my deck, on my front deck, and just enjoying a little bit of the sun while I just get stuff done. So that's pretty much going to be my day. Also, I really just wanted to reflect on some things that, since it is Mother's Day, I wanted to take a moment to reflect on some beautiful memories I had with my mother. So as a child growing up, I was the only child, and the thing about that is it's cool, you get all the fun toys and you don't have to compete against a brother or sister, but at the same time, the challenge is, you don't get to stay out and you don't get to play as long as you want with people. At a certain time where you come in, you're by yourself. So being the only child, I never felt spoiled, but I always was okay with being by myself, because there were times where you couldn't go out or it was past curfew. But one thing about my mom, anybody who knows me, who grew up with me, they know that my mom never played around with curfew. I think when I was a kid, I had to come in around 8 o'clock. In the wintertime, I think it was probably the street lights, when the street lights come on. But my mom used to always, when it was time for me to come in, she'd always open the door, and this is funny, she used to do this every single time. She'd always open the door and yell my name down the street. So that was the first warning. If I didn't hear that, then she'd come out the door and stand in front of the house, and then she'd yell. And then the final warning was she came to get me. So she would walk down and come get me. And after years and years of that happening, and when you're out a kid playing, maybe you're playing basketball, you're in the middle of a game, you get caught up in it. But when she started to walk down, my friends knew, or everybody on our block knew, my mom was coming to get me. And if my friends saw ahead of time, they would say, "Hey man, your mom's coming." And I would just duck out and run. I'd run towards it, because what I didn't want, if my mom was upset with me, I didn't want to get embarrassed in front of everybody. So, if I didn't catch her before she got all the way down the street, then I knew it was going to be a little bit of a scene. My mom wasn't so much like a shout or anything, or she wasn't try to go out her way to embarrass me, but she would be upset, because I have a curfew, and if I don't make it at that time, and she's gonna be upset about it. So my friends remember, no matter where I went, if I hung out at a friend's house, I would let her know, or let my mom and my grandmother know where I was at. But when it was time to come in the house, she was coming to get me if I didn't come to her on time. So that was a fun memory about my mom. Another thing about my mom that was really cool, that really rubbed off on me, was my mom walked everywhere. So growing up in Detroit, my grandparents, I lived with them, and my mom moved in with them at the time, and so they always had a car. But my mom always used the bus to get around if she couldn't get a ride from her parents, and I kind of, that rubbed off on me because I walked around so much, during my teenager years before I was able to get a car on my own and get my license. But I couldn't settle with not being able to get around. So I just learned the bus system, and when I didn't have bus money, I would walk everywhere. To the point, one of my friends' dad made a joke about me. He saw me 3 times in one day. I think this was like a long time ago. It's like 2002, probably 2003 maybe. And he saw me like 3 times in one day. One time in one part of town. Then he saw me in the like 15 miles deeper into town, and then probably 20 miles from there all the way downtown. He saw me later that day, and he just made a joke. He's like, "Man, this guy, I had never met a person who walked more than him." But but that was really inspired by my mom, because my mom used to walk a lot, and she would catch the bus everywhere. And when I moved to Seattle, it felt like a kind of a glimpse of being back home, because I had a car before I moved out here, and I sold it. I sold my car, and I moved out here, and I figured out that I didn't need a car, because where I live in Seattle is very convenient to get on the bus and walk everywhere. So I kind of went back to my old Detroit days of being around here, where I could walk and catch the bus everywhere. So yeah, that's a fun memory. And I would say one more fun memory of my mom was my mom loved the music, and that really rubbed off on me. I remember as a kid listening to all the amazing artists, like Michael Jackson, Prince, Brian McKnight, you name it, New Edition, all those incredible artists growing up. So music was it's still a part of my world, but I really get that from my mom. My mom had every CD you could imagine that came out, when CDs were the thing. And those are some of the memories I have of my mom, but I wanted to share that with you guys. I'm usually a pretty closed off person in terms of, like, I don't really share much about my life and the things that's going on. But since it's Mother's Day, and I'm doing this 30-day challenge, I guess you could say, there you go. That's a little bit about me. But I'll leave it with this: take time to appreciate your mom. Even if your relationship is good or bad, just take a moment to appreciate your mom, because we all too often take for granted the things that we have until they're gone. And when they're gone, they're gone. There's nothing you can do to return things back. So if you have your mom, appreciate her. If you don't, happy Mother's Day to your mom, and rest in peace to your mother. So I'm out.